1, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo. Set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
I'm Bullhorn Betty, and this is the Bullhorn Betty channel, where we're taking a deep dive into Sebastian Rogers. We have been covering the case since the early part of March, prior to or the day of the interview of both mom and stepdad. What we learned was there were some questionable statements made. And then we started looking into the parents, which really ruffled the feathers of the mom, more importantly, the stepdad. He felt that if we just took all the drama out of this, there's nothing here to see except a teenage boy that just simply ran away from home. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, this mom and stepfather has hired some of the most vile people to assist them in locating their son. from past felons that are currently committing crimes to questionable people with questionable pasts, such as substance abuse, where one of their searchers is seen in the woods utilizing substances through a straw and a dollar bill up that person's nostrils, inhaling whatever it was that he was doing. Then you have another content creator that is filthy, which again is just representation of the people that they hire to assist them. And then lastly, one of the main supporters of the mom and stepdad has now 2 new civil actions against her, one for child custody and another one for stalking her ex-pregnant girlfriend. So, and then after that, an incident report came about where she or her other daughter put bruises on her youngest daughter's throat. Again, this just kind of embodies the type of people that are representing Sebastian's mom and stepfather. While I never criticize anybody's past, because let's face it, we all have one. It's the difference between somebody that has overcome that and has redeemed themselves versus somebody that has continuously done this throughout the pattern of their story and is continuing to do it. No redemption, no remorse, just continuing the same bad behavior over and over again, expecting different results. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers deserves better than this. He deserves the right type of people searching for him and looking for him. There has been a lot of statements made from the mom and the stepfather, predominantly the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. And I've got to say, the inconsistency, the anger, the vitriol, and the threats and intimidation that he has posed to just about anybody and everybody searching for his son, his stepson, has me very, very, very concerned, including my own arrest. For what? For doing my job and speaking out against him, as well as law enforcement in the area. This makes you take a back seat because you see parents that are spending more time trying to shut my mouth than they are searching for their own missing child that disappeared from their own home. Why? That is the question we should be all asking ourselves, is why. We're going to be going over this case a little more in depth. I hope you stay tuned. We have a lot to discuss and a new case to bring up. I thank you all for being here. I hope you take the time before we start to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. If you would like to help me with my legal expenses or just to support the efforts that we're doing, we have a variety of ways that you can contribute. From the GoFundMe to help me fight specifically with my legal expenses. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We have an Amazon wish list if you just want to give me a thank you item or buy something special for the Lila. Again, this is truly a family, and we've truly come together for the sake of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And we're going to continue to fight for him. And we're going to continue to expose the mom and stepdad's weird behaviors and inconsistent statements. And we're going to expose those around them that are doing nefarious things to prevent the search or Sebastian being found. I hope you guys support all the creators that have come together to say no to this nonsense and to keep Sebastian first and foremost. God bless each and every one of you watching this, and have a great day. What we do know as fact, however, is that Seth has been searching for his son ever since his son disappeared. Seth has publicly taken a polygraph. He has publicly produced his work records. This man has done everything he could possibly do, including working with the FBI, working with me to advocate for his son, calling on the national media, getting Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we're here with what from the mom and stepfather? Nothing for almost 10 months. Shoddy searches at best
working with an unscrupulous PI, felons, and including one searcher utilizing substances, illicit substances, while searching for their son.
Well, good afternoon, my beautiful people here on YouTube. If you don't know who I am, I'm Bullhorn Betty. I cover true crime. We're covering the case of Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. This is a case that's near and dear to my heart, branded on my heart, if you will. Branded on my heart, on the opposite side of my heart, but branded on my heart. Sebastian's case, a case that I, in normal instances, would probably never have covered. Runaway teenager, not my cup of tea. We deal with, everybody has their appetite and stuff. We do cover children. We do cover missing and deceased children. We cover homicides of adults, but we typically don't cover runaway teenagers. One of the things, we do, but usually it's by the time we know that the situation is significant. This is one where none of us really knew about this case for the first 8 days, except a few, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 people that may have seen this debut on day 7 on Duchess. And those would have been the only people that had ever heard of this case. And then from there, it blew up because of the local community. The local community is the one that was on Facebook, on X, everybody from the local community that were saying something doesn't sound right, that got our attention, that got a TikToker's attention, that had only 30 to 90,000 followers, medium-sized TikTok account. I can't remember. I feel like she had a low account for some reason. But either way, at least at the time. And so I was on TikTok, death scrolling. And that's when I came across this girl talking, because I was covering the Riley Strain case. And she's like, hey, guys, the Riley Strain case is over. We were all just there. There's this other case that's just an hour away. His name is Sebastian Rogers. And that was the first time I heard of Sebastian Rogers, was on the tail end of Riley Strain's case. And we were heavy in the Riley Strain case. I was getting like 1 million views a week on TikTok for me just doing some stuff on their green screens. And like I said, it was just crazy. And so I was looking for Riley Strain, or maybe it was just in my algorithm, because sometimes it's just like that. It could just be in your algorithm. I can't remember how. She was on my For You page. Okay. So we ended up learning and starting to learn about Sebastian Rogers, but really what kind of sparked it is it was just kind of like, hey, we got this chat, kind of my 5-minute, like kind of what we did with like Devlin Tate. I really wasn't invested in it just yet, but I definitely was starting to pique my curiosity, like Devlin Tate. You guys hearing me kind of get a little more interested in Devlin Tate. We got Panda Bear's mom in here, and every chance she gets, she advocates for him. God bless her, right? That's what I'm talking about when it comes to this. That's what it's all about. Being in people's chat and putting somebody's name in it. Devlin probably hasn't gotten a lot of attention. We're probably going to pay more attention to Devlin. And when we do, it's probably going to start picking up some more attention. And that's what it's about. Avocation. While slow, one person can make such a great difference in people's lives. Now, before we get started, guys, I'm not even going to say hello to you guys just yet, because I just want to get this part out of the way. It's a different case. It's one from Texas. As you guys know, our hearts bleed. We stand with Texas. But it is part of news. It is, although not criminal, you never know, right? I don't know what happened. I'm hearing that there might not have been some notifications that got down to the camps, that should have gotten down to the camps, personally gotten down to the camps, that were not done. So I'm working through that. I don't want to misinform. That's why I said, it sounds like and I put my source up there on why I said that. But either way, you're about to watch it here. I just want to forewarn you, we're not laying blame on anyone. We're not laying blame on any community leaders. We're not blaming anything on city leaders, city managers, or anything like that. This was a terrible tragedy. And there may be some things that were missed, overlooked, not done properly. We kind of, when you're not expecting something like this, that's when, everything that you try to do just starts failing on you, right? Damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation. So I don't want to lay blame just yet. Could there be blame laid? We don't know. We need to find out more information, but there are some people that are asking the questions. And so I want to bring those to you, and then we'll give you guys a live update on the death toll. It is going to break your heart. So just be prepared for that. So I'm going to go ahead and start this video now.
Is outraged.
One of the questions that still hasn't been answered 3 days into this is, despite TEN's warning on July 2nd and July 3rd that something like this could have happened, that the threat existed, why that information didn't get down to the camps and why they weren't evacuated. Can you answer that now?
That is a great question, but again, we want to make sure that we continue to focus. We still have 11 missing children that we want to get reunited with our families. Until we can get reunited with our families, we are not going to stop. We are not going to stop until we do. So, thank you.
Follow-up question, sir. Was any emergency alert given out on the 4th that morning of? Did anyone get any
Sir, there are
alerts?
families who deserve better than that.
Allegedly, there were no alerts, and there were no alerts sent to the camps that could have been mostly affected by these raging waters.
Just give you all the most current updated information. Please bear in mind these numbers will continue to change. As I'm walking in the door, I'm getting texts. It's going to be like yesterday. I think these numbers will continue to change and increase as time goes on. But like I said, we'll do a good job on keeping you updated. As of 9 a.m. this morning, we've recorded 59 deceased in Kerr County. Among those who are deceased, we have 38 adults and 21 children. 18 adults pending identification, and 4 children are also pending identification. At present, there are 11 Camp Mystic campers unaccounted for.
The images coming out of Texas are breathtaking. They are horrific. They are amazing. It is just a litany of scenes. But most importantly, people lost their life. As I review these images, I am seeing some devastating photos here. People's lives and homes ripped apart by raging water. We're learning some of the victims of this tragic Mother Nature event that happened in Texas. The heroes among them that came out risking their own lives to reunite families, and what they have to see is something for only horror movies.
All right, guys. So that was one of my updates from yesterday. Okay. So we have additional information to report right now. And you guys heard them report 58 people. I believe that was the death count at the time. 58, 27, and 18, I think was what it was. 18 broke my heart. 18, or no, that was 18. I think it was 21 children at that time. Right now, this is what's very heartbreaking. I'm going to get you guys updated real quick. This just came out. Updated about 18 minutes ago. Texas flood floods claim 94 lives as of right now, and 28 of those are children. 27 are campers and counselors from the Mystic Camp in Kerr County. 27 campers and counselors from Mystic, the Camp Mystic. That is hard because the majority of those campers are children. It sounds like 28 are possibly from the camp. 27 appear
possibly them. The kids, 27 children, are part of that. So very, very bad. This has touched people that I personally know. For example, I was just speaking to a friend. She has an Airbnb. She's renting out to an Airbnb person, and they had booked this like a month or 2 months ago. And they're here, not here in Florida, but at her Airbnb. And they're from Texas, and two of their best friends, two of their children, they were twins, are deceased, both of them. So even, I mean, this world is so big, but so small in the same sense. I mean, I'm covering a case that I have, an arm's length or two away from, where it's affected somebody. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Some of these kids came from all over the country, I'm learning. They weren't just from Texas. They came from out of state. Can you imagine some of the parents being out of state and finding out this happened? It's just, it's problematic. So I'll just read this little snippet of information. You can go do your own research. It sounds like the numbers are going to keep climbing as water recedes and more people are found. There will be more people found. South Central Texas is again facing the risk of excessive rainfall threatening to bring further flooding. I'm hearing, that there's some exaggeration here, potentially, that so far it's only been like 3 inches. So I don't want to concern anybody. I want to report. This is from the Washington Post. I don't want to say they're improperly reporting, but they're the Washington Post. They're not in Texas. And I don't know if they have somebody there in the field on the ground, but I'm going to trust the people that I've spoke to that right now everything is calm. And so South Central Texas is facing risk of excessive rainfall threatening to bring further flooding to ravaged regions as search operations for missing continues for a 4th day. At least 94 people have died in the Central Texas floods, including 28 children. Camp Mystic in Kerr County said it is grieving the loss of 27 campers and counselors. Dozens of people across the region are still unaccounted for, including 10 girls and 1 counselor from Camp Mystic. So they've already got, I want you guys to understand the gravity of this situation. We already have confirmation that Kerr County is grieving the loss of 27 campers and counselors. And they're still saying that there's 10 girls and 1 counselor still unaccounted for. That toll could potentially increase from 27 to literally 38 people from Camp Mystic. Young, impressionable souls that were there for a religious experience, a fun religious experience. It's hard. It's hard to express how devastating this truly is, and that's just one camp. I'm hearing families, whole entire families, are missing right now. They don't know where whole entire families are, and that has nothing to do with Camp Mystic. It's awful. It's awful. Right now, I have the opportunity to go out there to assist in helping and documenting what's going on out there. I have not committed to that yet. If I am to commit to that, I'll be leaving in like 3 days. So I just got back from being gone a week in North Carolina and PA.
And so I'm really praying over this, whether I should be going out there and assisting. We're going to have to bring the weight gear, and I'm trying to determine because right now, if I do go out there, it sounds like I'm going to have to drive out there because, airfare, renting cars, not knowing when I'm coming back. It's kind of an open-ended thing. It's going to be a little more difficult to plan without the car, which means I'm going to have a 2-day drive. And if I have a 2-day drive, it even puts us further behind. So I'm just praying on it. I'm just praying on it right now to see if this is the right case that, to put forth, because it's going to be expensive. And I just hate to I know that it would be worth the cost, especially if we can help and help, either just be public servants to people, in whatever capacity. If we need to be out there searching, if it's out, handing out water, having an opportunity to film some of the stuff going on behind the scenes, it would be a great opportunity to really, advocate for the people that are putting their lives and stopping their lives and taking time away from their families to go help families in need. And these families are in need. And so, having this unique opportunity presented, and it's truly behind the scenes stuff. It's really making me really take an opportunity to pause, because would I have this opportunity ever again is the question. And you get rare opportunities, and when you do get rare opportunities, you have to jump at them, or you don't ever get those opportunities again. So again, just praying on it. That's just where I'm at. So we'll leave it at that. I told the folks, just, let me have just 24 hours, because you guys know I have to process things. It's not, I just don't, I'm by myself. So I got to think of other things than just jumping out and going halfway across country. I've got the house, I've got bills, I've got the Delilah, I can't take her out there. It's too dangerous. Is Gamsey's going to really want to watch her again? Well, I shouldn't ask that question. Is she really going to want to give her back again? Maybe that needs... There's going to be a point when my mom says, look, babe, like, I've got her a little more than you do at this point. Why don't I just send her over to your house to sleep out on the weekends? We'll have a custody arrangement. Like, I'm waiting for mom to do that, right? After being gone a week. When I was only supposed to be gone like 2 or 3, at the most 4 days. I've gone a freaking week. That's the crap my stepdaughter used to do. It drove me nuts. I don't want to be I don't want to be that. So again, not all lightheartedness set aside. It is I'm praying over it now. I'll let you guys know my decision. It looks like it's a great opportunity. It looks like we'll be able to, I don't know if we'll be able to go live, because if we're out there in the field, I can't go live and potentially stumble across something that you guys can't see. So it's going to be one of those things where we're going to be out there all day. You're not going to see me. You're not going to see me at all online. We're loaning me to people. So we got to figure out if that's the commitment we want. That means you guys are going to go without me, and I'll probably come on here, beat tired at night, talking to you guys for 15 minutes. But I mean, like I said, I just wanted to prepare you guys that might be the reality, because if I'm called to do this, I'm going to go out there. So again, just praying on it, and we'll move on. So we're all here for Sebastian Rogers case, and some new information just came out that kind of blew everybody's mind just a little bit. So before we get started on Sebastian Rogers, I know we've got almost 300 people here. I haven't even said hi to you, so I expect this to be very lengthy, and then we'll get into an intro video and get started on our evening. If you guys are not planning on being here a while, then whatever you got to do, just go do what you got to do and come on back. We'll be here. We've got a lot to cover. It's been a while since we've gone over the Sebastian Wayne Rogers case. I've got the first 3 interviews of Chris and Katie about the disappearance of their son, Sebastian Rogers. We are going to go through those thoroughly. By the end of this live, now I don't know how long this live is going to be, if we do not start the timeline, okay? If we do not start the timeline tonight, tomorrow, that as well as working on some ideas for this event, we're going to be discussing tomorrow. But yeah, we're going to watch all 3 of these videos. I hope I'm coming in clear. I can tell you that when we were coming in and I was looking at all of the stuff on here on my end, even though it's showing I'm having stability issues, everything seems to be coming in very crystal clear for you guys on that end. I hope that's the case and we're not going to be having any problems. If many of you guys know, I've been having this love-hate relationship with StreamYard where it's knocking off my audio. It's dropping. I thought the dropping of the camera was from StreamYard, but I dropped the camera on Restream. So I now know it's the ports on the side of my computer that are, you know, if you touch them, they're pretty finicky, which really upset me. But, you know, so does life every now and again. I digress. So what we're going to do is we're going to do these first 3 interviews. We're going to listen to them. We're going to pay attention to them. We're going to refamiliarize ourselves with what we learned at the beginning of this case, because you're going to be surprised to know that the information we now know about the case is much different than what these people were telling us as fact back at the beginning, back over a year ago. So it's time to revisit over a year ago and hear the bullshit. Hear the bullshit. This is for all of my religious people in here. Sorry, but this case gets me a little worked up, and I know my spiritual advisors, which I have quite a few. I have spiritual advisors up in here that don't know they're my spiritual advisors, but they are. They are. And I know that they hate me cussing. Absolutely hate me cussing. I don't even know if they have the ability of hate, but if there's anything that's not actual hate that comes close to hate, that's probably how they like cussing. It's like a scarlet letter, okay? So I'm going to wear my scarlet letter today. I'm going to wear my scarlet letter today because this is the case that I feel like the emotion is what we need, because I think we all need to reignite that emotion and that passion that we had for this case. So Detective Whiskers, thank you, thank you, thank you. She says, for all of our missing children, it takes a town, a village, a city, a county, and the world working together to bring them home one at a time. Amen to that. Hopefully my soundboard is working. I never know until after the show. I have to go back and check because it always plays in my ear. It's just sometimes I play it back and I'm like, wait a minute. It didn't play. It played in my ear. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. Sonia, it's nice to see you. Samantha, Jen in Georgia, Show Poodle. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Narita, Stacy, good evening. Our beautiful Hindsight up in the chat. Dawn, B, Betty fan, it's nice to see you. Stephanie, Dixie, good evening, y'all. Rhonda, good evening. Shirley, thank you for the email. I've got to reread it, but I did get the gist of it. Lisa B. Always, our birthday girl. Peggy, it's nice to see you. Mally Cat, Patty, Terry, good evening. Well, good afternoon. Well, by the time we wrap up, it should be evening. It is nice to see you all. Cece, good evening, good afternoon, whatever, wherever you may be. It's nice to see all your beautiful names up. I would say beautiful faces, but I don't get to see your beautiful faces. Ocean, it's nice to see you. Love Bug, I hope you're doing well. Robin, it's nice to see you as well. Good afternoon. Ruby, hey. Tracy, Mama Rissa up in the chat. Panda Bear Mom, hey. Who else do we have? Good evening, afternoon, Barbosa. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well. Stacy, hey Jude. It's nice to see you. Faye, Panda Bear's mom, of course. I was talking about you kind of sort of in front of your face on a screen. Melanie, it's nice to see you. Hey. Pebbles up in the house. Realtor Lulu, it's nice to see you. Phil. Denise, Erna, good evening, y'all. It's nice to see you. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody. I'm kind of scrolling a little fast because I'm a little behind schedule. Betty, it's nice to see you. Hey. I know I got Detective Whiskers. Mama for the missing. It's nice to see you. Denise, I think I said hi, but not sure at this point. Cinderella, I know I didn't say hi to you. Groovy gal. Hey. M. Blunk, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have? Did I say hi to you, Sonia? If I didn't, it's just because I'm rude. Okay, who else? Sharon, it's nice to see you. Good afternoon / evening. JH up in the house. Gypsy, Lorraine, hey. What else do we have? Common sense. Love that stuff. That's the good stuff. Common sense. Something that we all share, but not with everyone. I'm just saying we don't share. Not everybody is as talented as the people on the Bullhorn Buddy channel. We love our audience. Outer Banks, it's nice to see you, love. Cindy, I feel like I just missed somebody. Who was it? Cindy, hey. Susan, it's nice to see you. I think I said hi to Cece. Betty, JH, Phil, who knows? It's nice to see you. Blue Eyes, hey love, it's nice to see you. I must have said something wrong. Every time I see Sonia with the peeking of I keep wondering, what did I say? And sometimes this stuff just rolls out of my mouth. I don't even realize it. I mean, it's already out before I even know a darn thing, and it's like, everybody's like, ooh, Betty. I'm like, what, did I say something? What did I do? And I go back and it's like, oh, oops, did I do that? Kennedy, it's nice to see you. Pussy Willow Pendercat, if I can speak. Nicey Marie, I missed you, but somebody said hi to you, so I was able to see that you're in the chat. So it's nice. Oh, there you are. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well. I think I said hi to Rhonda, but this looks like a different name. So hi, Rhonda with an H. Suddenly Sally, it's nice to see you. And our beautiful Panda Bear's mom advocating for Devlin. We will get to him. Hopefully, if we don't have any more floods. Oh, good gracious. We actually did pretty good. We got to the end. I'm sure I missed somebody because I was flying through chat. I didn't really read your questions. I'm sorry. But it's nice to see you. And as I said, we're going to be here for a while. Okay, we're going to listen to this stuff. And I talk a lot. And I can't help it. Even when I tell you, I'm just going to play it through. I'm not going to talk over it. I'm not going to tell you that anymore. You know why? Because every time I tell you guys that, I end up stopping it and talking over it anyway. So, I'm just not I mean well. I mean well, but it doesn't come across that way. Aw, thank you, Realtor Lulu. Aw, thank you. Thank you. So we're just going to say, if I talk through it, I talk through it. If I don't talk through it, then consider yourself lucky. Okay. But before we start, we got to give our props to the man of the hour, the star of the show, Sheriff Snuggle Struggles. We've got to do it. Going to believe this in Sumner County related to the Sebastian Drake Rogers case. Kinda, sorta. Sheriff Snuggle Struggles, the one that has blocked the entire public out, hasn't really had the money nor the ability to search for Sebastian Drake Rogers, has turned down U.S. Marshal help, has not turned the case over to TBI or the FBI where Seth Rogers would like it to go. But hey, you know what? He's begging for a raise. This man has barely even been the flippin' sheriff in Sumner County, and he's down there begging for more money. What about Sebastian? Why didn't he ask for more resources for Sebastian Drake Rogers? You know, the kid that's missing from his community, where it looks like that they are trying to help the Bowersox and the Proudfoots cover up a crime? You know, Sebastian? I'm just saying. This right here really rubs me the wrong way. No request for funding to help search for Sebastian, but he thinks he deserves a raise. Let me know your thoughts. Just saying, I don't think he deserves a raise. But you know what? What do I know? Why don't I quit trying to figure out whether he deserves a raise? Why don't we put it off? We got enough people in here. How many people? We got 274 people? Let's write it in here. Do you think Sheriff Struggle deserves a raise? Question. Yes or no? Start poll. All right. It is off to the races. And why we do that? Let me come over here. Aw, Emma Louise. Member for 26 months. Thank you. Me and Emma are strolling in here like... the other little bump cuts off just a little too quick. Thank you, Realtor Lulu, and looky, Miss Sonia, 36 months. My payments are over with you. We got to the 3 years. Why is my freaking camera keep dropping? How is this that sensitive? Let me move this just a little bit. Maybe we can try it like that. Kick the camera again. Rat patootie mama. Frustrating as all get out. All right, don't be messing with my camera. My audience has to see me. It's a requirement. It's a requirement on the Bullhorn Buddy channel. And it still takes my damn background. You know, they did warn me that the virtual backgrounds are causing the problems, but I want my virtual background. We're not doing it like this. Okay, where the hell are my virtual backgrounds? Let's try, since I'm getting frustrated. We don't need Bullhorn Buddy. Let's do like Stormy. Badass. None of them's working. Well, I'll be. It's not letting me have my background back. So this is how we're going with it tonight. You guys get to see my messy office. Actually, it's not really messy. It's just cluttered. I just got to put crap up, and of course, all my legal stuff over here. I don't even think you guys can see it with the little knobby thingy up there with Sonia, right there. Yeah, that thing. And we got the small cuss jar. We got the super-sized cuss jar. Okay? So I'm not sure which one we're going to fill up first or second, but just saying. Sonia apparently thinks I cuss a lot. But I did. People used to come in here and I'm telling you, they used to come into the chat and they'd say one thing to me because I just don't care. I just don't care. Like, I'm just a raw country type person that, you know, I don't really care what I'll tell you to get bit. Everybody's like, you're violent, you're threatening. The only thing I threaten you is with a big F you. That's the worst case scenario with Bullhorn Betty, unless you try to put your hands on me. Now, that's the worst case scenario. But as long as you're just talking, the worst thing you're going to get from me is a big, you know, I'm going to drag and run a proverbial bus over you, but that's not it. My lethal weapon's in my mouth. Hashtag Chris Proudfoot. It's lethal, baby. Hashtag Chris Proudfoot scared the man so bad he had to go and ask for the silver bracelet. She's dangerous. Well, what'd she do, sir? She hashtagged me. Not a hashtag.
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
Just saying. Not playing. So anyways, we've learned that this child with this animal named Christopher Proudfoot and another animal named Katie Proudfoot, and I guess the most dangerous and lethal way to say their name, and I lost my thing again. Okay. Oh, this is getting ridiculous. I would say this is about as ridiculous as it can get. How many times did I get to, at least on, you know what I did like about Restream though, is Restream at least kicked my camera right back on. I didn't have to keep going through this process of getting it kicked off and having to redo it. I mean, it would kick me off, but it would bring it right back up. Here, it's not doing either. So and then they take like my intro videos. I used to be able to put them in order of how I was going to use them for the show. I have that, you know, a whole bunch of them. So I just kind of change them out so you're not getting the same thing, the same intro video going in every single time. Like for Sebastian, I've got like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 to choose from. Sometimes I just, you know, just pick one that I think we haven't watched in a while and put that as part of the intro coming into the show. You know, not that it's breaking information now. It might have been breaking information a year ago when I produced it, but it's just an intro video just to, you know, kind of get you guys familiar with, you know, whatever we're going to be discussing. I've got several for Lily and Jack. I got several for the Decker sisters in there. So I just kind of interchange them depending on what our talking point is. Kind of like every time we go into Sebastian Rogers, I don't want you just having one video that you have to watch every time you come in. I like to have a little variety. Yes, you're watching the same ones over and over again, but at least they're not the same exact ones every single day. I'm just saying, I do think of you. I think of my audience more than you guys think I do. Okay, I'm just saying. So anyways, this child disappeared on February 26th. He was 15 years old. You know, several months later, December 7th. I hope I'm correct on that. I'm going off memory. Sorry, Seth, if I got that wrong. I think it was December 7th was his 16th birthday. And it was kind of, you know, it was really melancholy for us, the public, but it was heartbreaking for his father that didn't get to spend his birthday with him. And he turned 16, so there have been some changes since those original videos and photos came out of Sebastian, you know, with him turning 16, hitting puberty. We could expect a little more facial hair on him. Maybe his hair would be longer. We might want to update some of the images. I know Mama Rissa did, but you know what we didn't? I don't think we did do. We didn't do like Washington did, you know, for Decker, where they kind of gave him like he has long hair that they see, so they made short hair. Maybe we should do something with some longer length hair, and maybe do like an updated age for breast type of, non-official age progressed photo flyer for Sebastian, maybe putting the ones with the facial hair in it, and maybe the ones with just the long hair, no facial hair, and then the long hair with the several of the same, facial hair cut, stubble. And then I think you had like a medium, like a short, medium, and a little longer. I think is what I remember seeing 3, if I recall correctly. But this might be something. It might be something. I don't know if it'll help. But maybe if he does have longer hair, maybe he's unrecognizable. Maybe we're looking for, somebody that looks like a little boy, like 13, 14, Sebastian didn't have facial hair. Everything we've seen, he didn't have facial hair. I don't mean like a little boy, but, maybe, maybe he looks a little more grown than he is what I'm saying. With the facial hair, maybe growing his hair out longer. When you have longer hair and facial hair, would they really be able to tell that you're a 15-year-old kid or a 16-year-old kid? I don't know. I feel like they would probably think you might be in your early 20s, and maybe not even bat an eye, but maybe having that photo with that age enhanced cut or whatever might help. Who knows? It might help. But let's look at before we get moving on to starting these interviews. This is going to be pretty long. You guys know I might bounce between all 3 of the interviews just to see what is said. I might stop it and just go through them and pull up the transcripts and do a search and find different stuff in here. I don't know what we're going to do with this yet. I didn't go through it. I didn't pinpoint the markers on it. Do I have a pad with every single one of these transcripts of important points? Yes, I do. I didn't grab it. I didn't go look for it. Is it somewhere? Yes. Do I know exactly where it's at this moment? I do not. It's in one of my books. It's in one of my books. That's all I can tell you. Where that book is, it's probably either in my car or in my computer bag in my bedroom. Again, not getting up to go look for it. We'll just do this the rough and tough way. We'll do it the rough and tough way. So the first one's going to be Duchess. And as many of you guys know, me and Duchess do not get along. It's not that I don't want to get along with the lady. I don't know the lady. She's just been nasty to me since I've been on this platform. I have no respect for her because anybody that treats somebody that they don't know that way has no integrity, no character, and no class. But every time I listen to her interviews, they drive me up the wall because she won't shut her fucking pie hole. Excuse my language, but that's the truth. Okay, she has to talk over everybody. She's always got to fill in the freaking space. It is literally a pet peeve at this point, and it literally drives me nuts. So if I complain a little bit about it while we're going through it, I'm going to try to minimize the complaining about it because I feel like I do it every single time I have to listen to this crap. But it's frustrating because we could have gotten so much more valuable information if the lady would learn to shut up. So, and she did it on the second interview too. So I know it's just how she conducts her interviews. She likes to hear herself talk. When I'm doing an interview, I shut up. I shut up. Occasionally, sometimes I'm not thinking or because, I have a pop mouth. That's what I call a pop mouth. Sometimes when I'm thinking, it just pops right out. I don't really filter it, and it just pops out, and people hear it, and it's like, well, it's out there now. So some people say it's unfiltered. Maybe I have an unfiltered mouth. I don't know. I think it's filtered. I mean, it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse. I have been working on it for a while. Okay. Either way, let's get into the first interview before I just keep going on about how I dislike the interview style of this person. I'm sorry. I just don't like it. I can't help it. I try to be nice when I can. If the lady was a little nicer, I might gently say the things I'm saying or say them in maybe a little bit of a more not so insulting way, but I don't really care about her feelings. She didn't care about mine. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I just wish she'd shut her pie hole when she's giving interviews.
Walk us through what that looks like again for everybody.
He did have a really good weekend, actually. when we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school,
If you notice, because there's a thud, there's a thud that's in here that apparently she didn't think was significant at this moment. It's my understanding they knew of the flashlight video or a lights video. Chris did. Allegedly. Prior to this interview. So I don't know if I was a concerned parent. I'm going to put this out there like that. If I was this concerned parent, right? And my child disappeared. And I find out that there's lights on the outside of my house. I'm going to want to know exactly what those lights are. And this horse crap that there are a garbage truck, when we've had people in that community come out and tell us there is no possible way. They've seen the footage themselves. They're two separate events. We're going to get to it. Again, this is going to be a long show. There's two separate events, and we're going to get to Bobby's statements. We're going to get to Bobby's statement. There is no possibility that I believe that these, and it's not like Sumner County has this best reputation of being honest, right? We've got detectives lying on affidavits in their county. We've got people being arrested for DUIs when they're not drunk in their county. We've got houses exploding in their county. Like, I don't trust these people to even be. I worry with them if they're even responsible enough to hold a taser gun, let alone a loaded one. Okay? In some of these cases and some of these people that are associated and work for Sumner County Sheriff's Office, I'm very concerned for. I'm concerned for my safety when I go into their community, but I am not concerned for my safety because of their citizens. I'm concerned for my safety from their law enforcement body that's in that county. That is a horrible reputation to have. And listen to this. We're learning, and I know you guys know this because I know you pay attention. We are finally realizing to the gravity of how Christopher Proudfoot treated media the day Sebastian went missing. We're hearing he threatened them. He threatened to shoot them. Does that sound like a normal human being in that situation? He tried to play it off like he didn't do that. The man is a compulsive liar. And for Sumner County to arrest me when I followed all the laws of the state of Tennessee and not them that have abused a child, and now that child is missing, and they literally have flashlights coming from the side of their blessed house out to an unknown vehicle, and our law enforcement out there in Sumner County can't connect the fucking dots? And they have no blessed money for flyers? We have a major problem here. Chris and Katie are living their best life because Sumner County can't get their shit together. That's what's really going on. Just reminded us. I think I say shit a lot more than I say hell. I think you need to change the price. I think you need to put shit as 2 and hell as 5. I very rarely say the GD.
But when I do, we got to pay the price. We got to pay the price. I don't know. The reason why I stay away from that is because when I GD something, I'm truly GDing something. It is not a word. It is, I'm damning it to, yeah. So when I don't say the GD word very often, and if it does come out of my mouth, I'm either very passionate about something and I'm unintending it to come out, but it just kind of rolls off the tongue with the emotion. Or sometimes I truly want to say it just because I just, damn it, that much. And I G'd damn it intentionally. Sometimes I do that. Did I tell you guys Christian people aren't perfect? It's so funny because people are always coming, not always coming to me, but from the hate channels, that's their thing. And I laugh because they clearly don't know religion. Do I try to be as close to God as possible? I do. Some do it better than others. Sonia does it better than I do it. Okay. She does it much, much, much better than I do it. Okay. But at the end of the day, what is your goal? Is your goal to hurt people or to help people? Is your goal coming from a pure heart? While cuss words and stuff like that are not good in the religious sense, it's not the worst thing that could happen, and I'm not perfect. I pray. I try to change. I figure it like this. I figured if God really wanted to stop me from cussing, he would cut my tongue out, and that hasn't happened yet. So I figured, God's will is to tone it. I'm trying to justify over here, not testify, okay? Yes, sinners go to church. Everybody in a church is a sinner. That's the point. We are not perfect. There is only one perfect being, and we're not it. So I'm not even going to attempt to try this perfect thing, okay? I know it's something I'll never obtain, okay? I'm a realist, okay? I go for better than I was yesterday. And as long as I'm better than I was yesterday, baby, we got it. But these people here, they were awful. They were awful to Sebastian, and they tried to cover it up. And when they were caught doing it multiple times, they blamed it on Sebastian. But Sebastian was constantly in fear. Think about it. Let's paint the picture for you guys. Imagine being a teenager, okay? And some of you guys are perfectly healthy, normal people, okay? Some of you guys in my audience are not. So I need you to think whatever capacity you can. Some of you guys are living Sebastian's way of life. So you might have experience and personal knowledge that people like me do not. But even on a normal human being level that has no problems, I want you guys to listen to this, okay? And I'm going to try to explain it and paint the picture for you. You're a teenager that has medical issues, okay? You're going through something you don't understand. Even normal people that go through puberty go through a lot of changes in their life, normally. And then you take that and you complicate it with somebody that has autism, sensory issues, and chromosome deletion syndromes. And they're going through that. And then you've got a mean stepfather that keeps being mean to you. You don't really know why or what you're doing wrong. You try, you wake up every day and try your best. You go to school, you put your happy face on, you do your homework, you're doing the schoolwork, you come home, you go to your room, you try to stay out of everybody's way. You don't try to ruffle anybody's feathers, but everybody's just so mean to you. And so finally things kind of escalate, and now it's coming from being mean to now hurting you. And so you go and tell the teacher thinking, hey, if I tell the teacher, maybe this pain will stop. But because you're not normal, when they finally come out there to see what's going on, you're blamed for everything. So now you feel hopeless and helpless because every time you try to help yourself, you get in more trouble and have to go through more pain. That's what people need to understand. That was the reality of Sebastian Rogers. He was just not appreciated. He was not treated like he should have been treated by the people that had the most contact with him and should have loved him the most. And now he's gone. And so if they truly didn't have anything to do with it, and they saw what they saw coming from their side of their house, you would think that they would be more angry or worrisome or have more urgency to want answers to that, because they know it wasn't them, right? That's what they're trying to convince us. They know that those lights weren't them. Why weren't they raising the roof saying, can you imagine if my dog was missing? My dog, not my child, not my son, my dog was missing, and I saw flashlights around my house, I would be GDing something. Who were those GD people with those GD flashlights? Where's my effing dog? Something's not right here. My child's missing and there's lights out there. Where did those lights come from? That's what you expected from Chris and Katie, and we got, I can't believe you guys would think that there's flashlights on the side of our house. How dare you? How dare you? There was no flashlights on the side of our house. You think we did something with Sebastian. Right? That's kind of how it went. I mean, I'm embellishing a little bit, but it kind of went like that. No? No? It did. So when we, as normal people, if somebody was missing from our home and we saw something like that, we would not be dismissing it. We would be ultra concerned because we know somebody is missing from our house and there's some evidence right there. Who were they? With their, and as rough, tough as Chris is, he's calling BJ to run backwards and some D's and telling me I'm a whatever, what, and he's wondering why we think he's this dirtbag, but he's a military a-hole, right? So wouldn't he be macho about it? Like, who? I can't believe somebody would dare come to my house in the middle of the night. Let me be crystal clear. Let me be crystal clear. Let me be crystal clear. For transparency purposes. The real me too says Sonia does partial swearing. Does partial swearing count? She does kind of do partial swearing. She'll secretly share some things. She won't say it, and I know she shares them with one eye closed, but she still shares them. Hey, SD, it's nice to see you. BMW Coop, it's nice to see you. Oh, no. I can't believe the trash. That's the thing. It wasn't the trash truck, and nobody would have believed it. And you know what? Their own PI already debunked that himself because he was such an arrogant piece of crap that he went and got a footage of the freaking trash truck coming in at 5 o'clock in the morning. You could see how light it was outside. It's like, you're trying to convince us that this happened at 5 o'clock in the morning, that those lights we saw is this? Like, this is pretty obvious that that's a trash truck. What we saw, It wasn't that obvious, and I could tell you it did not have that much light out. You know why? Because it was 2 hours before the trash truck came through. 2 hours. An hour and 45 minutes to give myself some wiggle room. Okay? So, no, it's not a trash truck. Those were absolutely flashlights. And they walked to a car. A car that turned their lights on and backed out. Now, I'm not sure, but why would a trash truck go and park on the side of the road and then back up and leave the community at 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't even think that the people driving those trash trucks are in those trash trucks at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't think they get in until like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to be there by 5. Chris, it's not your house. It's a crime scene where a child, Sebastian, got missing from while sleeping. Amen. Can't even speak. Amen, Faye. Amen. Let's get back to this. I told you I wasn't going to promise you I'm not going to interrupt. Because I've already interrupted this and I already took us on a tangent for 10 darn minutes. This is just video 1. I keep wondering if we're going to get through the rest of them. We're already an hour in. We'll just keep going.
He wasn't here.
Oh, let's go back.
Mama, and he said, I love you, puppies. A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed. And when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
And you did tell me that Sebastian is not a runner.
He's not.
It's okay. Take your time.
And so she's really emotional here. The very next day when she did her interview, all the emotion was gone. I guess she cried her eyes out so hard on Dutch's panel. She had no more tears left to cry when they did the green shirt interview.
Sebastian does not have a history of running. The young man doesn't go outside.
So in his entire 15 years, he has never ran away from them. So okay. Well, we've done this before. So, okay. What now? He ran away. If he never ran away before, why would he decide to choose to run away this time? She does make him sound like a toddler, except the last interviews, but that was after she got an attorney. And they realized that wasn't probably the best for trial strategy. So he's very capable now, according to her. Let's not forget that. Sorry for the sarcasm. It's just, we need to flip a coin to find out, what the story's going to be on any given day from hashtag Chris Proudfoot, hashtag Katie Proudfoot. Just saying. I don't know either. But let's get back to that. Let's get back to this. Okay. So if he were to run away, let's look at this. Why? Chris and Katie have been adamant, and Seth has too. So we know that it's true, at least for everything on paper. We don't know truly what happened. I did learn that the child under the car that everybody thought was Sebastian, I heard was not Sebastian. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but I've heard that was not Sebastian. It was another kid. So if that's out of there and that was truly another kid, then we've got no possibility of Sebastian ever running away, ever, before February 26th. So, now, if that's the case and he's never run away, why would he decide to run away after his mother went to sleep? What reason? Can we think? I mean, I'm sure there are some reasons. Let's throw some reasons out. What would make an autistic child wake up in the middle of the night and do something he's never done before? The CPS report, oh, the Sebastian didn't have his belt on. I figured that out. He made Sebastian go get a belt so he could whip him. Oh, wow. That makes sense. That makes sense. My dad did that to me, you know, but I wasn't 15. I was a little girl, you know. So I got whipped with a belt. I also got whipped with a switch, depending on where I was and what I did. If I'm out in Mayaca City and my daddy wasn't wearing a belt, I had to go pick the switch. Just how things go. We're country, okay? We believe in corporal punishment. I've received corporal punishment. I turned out fine. Is that horrible of me to say that with a laughy face instead of a straight face? They both got caught. First CP at the geofence we got. I was thinking geofence too. I brought that segment up too. We've got that. So that's interesting. The geofence, the K9 Officer Max, and KP with a flashlight in hands. The evidence are there. What is police waiting? Faye? I don't know. You know, I personally thought it was lack of funding. But here they're getting funding stripped of him. And you know what Sheriff Struggles thought of? Himself! Not the people he's required to take care of. Not the missing child in his community. Himself. Like, I'm all about public servants. And I'm all about them getting their fair share. You know, they put their lives on the line. But I am not paying a pretty boy to screw up a freaking case and then giving the man a raise when he has produced shit. That is horrible. And never mind, when you're going there to beg for money, why don't you beg it for the cases? My understanding is the good and great cops that get involved in law enforcement, they don't do it for the money. They don't do it for the prestige. They do it for the love of community, wanting to help, wanting to be different than what everybody thinks of law enforcement. A lot of these people get in so they can be the best of law enforcement to change the perspective of people that don't like cops. Believe it or not, a lot of them get involved because of that. They want to make a difference in law enforcement and community outreach. We have a sergeant here in Manatee County that has a nonprofit. He works as a public servant, a sergeant, might be a lieutenant. And he has all this child outreach advocacy stuff that he does. You think he's making $1 million? No. He wants a better community. Those are law enforcement people that we want. Sheriff Struggles, he's not cut from that cloth. Because if he was cut from that cloth and he had the integrity of a great sheriff, he would have went in there and advocated for Sebastian, not himself. And we know that. Because I truly believe if push came to shove, now I could be proven wrong. I hate to think I know people and then somebody, you know, shows otherwise, but I just don't believe my sheriff here, Rick Wells, would have done that. I really don't. You know, I could be wrong. I don't think we've ever had something like this present itself to us. I mean, we did have the Black Swan killer in Manatee County. And I think our sheriff did an amazing job. That was a very high profile case. We had no problems with our courts. We had no problems with our cameras. We had no problems with the integrity of the investigation. We had no problems. Was everything executed perfectly? Probably not. Probably not. But we had a sheriff that communicated with the public. We had a sheriff that was, go back and look. I do have a good example of my personal sheriff handling a very high profile case like the Black Swan killer here in Manatee County. A lady that killed her husband. She was convicted. I'm pretty sure she's spending the rest of her life in jail. I'm sure she's spending the rest of her life in jail. But those are the things I like. Those are the things that I like to see from a law enforcement. My sheriff didn't have anything to... Why? Because he didn't screw up the case. Did he make mistakes in the case? Did some of his officers make... I'm absolutely... I didn't watch the trial. We didn't cover the trial. I had a big breaking case right in my own backyard, and I didn't cover it. Because I don't worry in my county. When I need to worry, I worry. When somebody was unalive down the road, we smacked our politicians around this county. And trust me, we embarrassed my state attorney. What does that one have? This is just on one. This is just on one. Oh, I took it down. But on my ex, I can't even remember how many that got, but it reached tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people. My Ed Brodsky. Never mind how many, hundreds of thousands of people that have seen it. Because I ran that clip every single show, I think for an entire month, condemning Ed Brodsky. Putting his office number on it. Call him! The hell with him. My police did their job in that case. Rick Wells, he built the case because, what had ended up happening. This is what had happened, okay? They knew when this was breaking that I was really, really pissed off. And I was about to throw Rick Wells under the bus. Rick Wells is my sheriff here. So a county commissioner had called me to explain the situation and blamed it on the state attorney and gave me all of the case numbers to verify the information before like I said, again, that's the situation that had happened. So I went and looked at it, and I had changed it to Ed Brodsky and basically stated my sheriff did what his job, because he did. And it was our state attorney, our district attorney, Ed Brodsky, that did a plea deal with the guy that after he threatened to unalive his mother, puts him in a halfway house acting like he wouldn't do it. Within 24 hours of being in the halfway house, he's over at his mother's trailer unaliving her. Exactly what he said he was going to do. Anyways. Mama, remember for 9 months, Sebastian's army will never stop until he's home. Amen to that. Amen to that. I think I got you, Sonia. Who else? Oh, BJ Boop. It's nice to see you. 12 months. We got a birthday. I don't know if we got... I still have my birthday hat out. I still have my birthday. That's for that real birth. That's for the birthday. That birthday. So let's see BJ Boop a little. Happy birthday, boop, boop, ba-doop, boop. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy Bullhorn Betty birthday, BJ Boop. Happy Bullhorn Betty birthday to you. Outer Banks, it's nice to see you. If you all send gifts, please, please, please send her Venmo, YouTube. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, Outer Banks. You're so great. Mima has been here for 13 months. It's nice to see you. Hopefully I sung happy birthday on your 12 months. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. Wheezy Girl, 6 months in. Hello, hello. Thank you for the love and support. And Melanie has gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you have received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell Melanie thank you. And for the person, the new family member that just received your Bullhorn Betty membership, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room. Welcome aboard. Restored Faith, thank you for being an advocate who refuses to back down. I hope you are doing well, and please tell Seth I am praying for him and Sebastian daily. Aw, thank you, Restored Faith. Hopefully he's still in the chat, and hopefully he will see that, but I will make sure that he knows. Thank you so much. Patty became a new member. Patty's been a member. She's been part of the family for a while. We thank you for the love and the support. And Lisa B. always, Brandon Carter asks CTB for her cleaned up audio. Crime Time Buzz for her cleaned up audio. When was this? Recently? Cleaned up audio for what? Was it the recording of whatever that had been passed around? Because I'm curious about that, which audio, because I'm hoping they're doing their job, but you know what? I haven't heard of any searches, and I haven't heard them getting out of the sheriff's office, and I'm tired of seeing them sitting in the sheriff's office. Sebastian, I can guarantee, is not in the sheriff's office. Like I said yesterday, I can guarantee no matter where you go in that sheriff's office, go ahead and look under everything, get your canines in there, whatever you need to do, the boy's not there. So if you're sitting behind that desk and not out in the field, you're not searching for him. You're not looking for him, and you're not getting any closer to finding him. And in the state of California, in the state of Tennessee, it is one of the states. Do they have the laws to bring circumstantial cases? They do, and they can. My problem is that I feel like they don't trust their jury enough with common sense. I don't know why it is instilled in Tennessee district attorneys and otherwise to act like they can't present circumstantial cases. Do they? They have. But if you look at the history of Tennessee, it's not enough. It's not enough. They need to be looking at Florida laws, because we bring a lot of circumstantial cases. We win a lot of circumstantial cases because we know how to build circumstantial cases. And I'd like to see them start, and I'd like to see them start with Sebastian's case and tell his story. Because he is either put somewhere by his mother or he is deceased. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it, in my opinion. It's one or the other. And it's a coin toss to figure out. But because we haven't been able to find him, the fact that they've been so, they've never, ever really campaigned or tried to search for Sebastian, and how defensive they are. Even if this was a custody dispute, I don't think they would be that defensive. I just don't. I'm looking at their behavior, and their behavior, if we were to look at their behavior, does their behavior mimic that of somebody that's involved in a child custody abduction? You know? It just doesn't, like, that does, their body language says foul play on it, but there's two options here. Which is their option? You know, is it unaliving or is it disappearing? I mean, there's differences in both. And I feel like that their behavior is not mimic or indicative of them being involved in a disappearance. I just am looking at their behaviors, and still, even to this day. So let's go ahead and let's clear this poll. This poll is, hold on, I'll give you guys the breakdown of it. Do you think Sheriff Struggles deserves a raise? 84% of our audience said absolutely not. I couldn't agree more. We'll see how stupid their Board of County Commissioners is, because we'll see. That's all I got to say. We'll see. I have to think that everybody is displeased with the sheriff. But, you know, I don't know. Is the whole county corrupt, or is it just the court systems and the sheriff's office? I don't know.
very much. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood knows him. He is very to himself, so to speak. Between the hours of 12 and 6, he has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked, and gone.
He didn't.
Confidence. This man wasn't in the house. This is their very first interview that they provided the world about this case. And I can tell you, if I recall, when I first saw this, before people started realizing, I think it has, let's see how many views it's got now. She's got about 37,000 views on this now. But when it actually debuted, even when I went back and saw it, because I didn't know about this at first. I didn't learn about this one until I can tell you exactly the time that we reviewed this. I can tell you. It was when Chris McDonough brought Steve Johnson up, and Steve Johnson was doing his I guess the thing, deception detective, where they listen to speech, like linguistics, kind of like Mike Damon and the deception detective. Well, Steve Johnson, he worked for law enforcement and now owns his own business that kind of was a spinoff from when he retired from law enforcement. And he uses his experience and expertise in statement analysis. That's what I was trying to say. Statement analysis. That he said, you really want to go back to the first interview. And by this time, I had heard that there were rumors that Katie had done an interview with Duchess before she ever did the WSMV video or interview. And so it was the day after that, on the interview room. It was the day after that, whenever that was. It was the day after that we went and watched Duchess for the first time. And I remember Duchess, came into the chat snootily and came in. And I didn't know that it was the same Duchess that is seen on Facebook flipping me off when I've never even spoken to the crackpot. Like, people that have never met somebody and would literally diss somebody, that they have no integrity. Because adult people, professional people, do not act like that. They just don't. So that tells you where she's at in life. Okay? Then I find out she ran off with Chris and Katie to a motorcycle rally. To me, she's a piece of shit. You ran off with people that could have hurt a boy. And didn't even bat an eye and enjoyed yourself with them. That to me is just sick. That's just sick. I don't know why anybody would respect Duchess after that poor display of, I don't even know what you call it. She's acting like a freaking child, like a teenager. It's just ridiculous. Grow up, lady. Grow up.
Take phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Now, you told me that night that, now, Chris, you were at work. You were out of town at work,
Yes,
so you were not even home.
Correct.
Do you notice how that is one of the more important things? This is what I find odd with these interviews, is that they were so adamant trying to tell everybody Chris wasn't there. So upfront. So upfront. We're looking at all these, we're having things go on with women in our age, or our day and age, that we've never had before. We've got a lot of female teachers sleeping with boys. We've got women unaliving their offspring. Women. I don't know if it's so widespread at this point. It's making me wonder what is making these people do this. Like, I'm really starting to believe that somebody got a shot of something and it affected a certain population a certain way. Because this is insane. We know Katie was the only one with Sebastian that night. At least that's what the evidence is showing. What the actual evidence that we have, that we've seen, factual stuff that we've seen, imply that Christopher was not at home on Sunday. I believe he did come there, and that's why they're so adamant to make sure everybody knows he wasn't there. Because I truly believe the man came there. But he came there around 3 o'clock in the morning when you see the flashlights, and why he never fought to know more about the flashlight and wanted to kibosh the story. Because in my opinion, it seems that anybody that would have seen what could have been flashlights on the outside of a home where a boy was reported missing just a few hours after that event happened, it just seems like the natural curiosity of a parent wanting to turn over every stone would come out and would never dismiss something so significant or potentially significant. So now we have the behavior of him doing that. And so we have to ask ourselves, why would he do that? So now we have a lot of things that we're asking, why would they do that? Why would Chris come home from Memphis around 1 o'clock, threaten news crews with death? With death. Telling me, I think they said something about shooting or having a gun or something to that effect. I guess we could look it up. I mean, I just saw it. I may have downloaded it, as a matter of fact. Let me see if I've... I just got that. Okay. All right, let me look at my... I'm pretty sure I would have downloaded that. Did I? Did I not? Let's see. Okay, here it is.
Someone said, stepdad. Yep. He threatened to shoot our news crew Tuesday. Then went and made threats towards Channel 4 crew. Dang, why is the news not mentioning any of these people? That's what I couldn't understand. That's why I started digging. He came out to the roadway and said, my house better not be on the news tonight. And this person said, that's crazy.
So now we have that. So why would a man act that way, pulling up to his home at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with a child missing? I don't think in the history of doing this, actually in the history, I've watched true crime my entire life. I've been a true crime junkie my entire life. I never thought I would be here, even with all my curiosity in First 48 and all the stuff I've watched over the years. I never anticipated that I would be talking about true crime at 45 years old. Never crossed my mind. Never crossed my mind. But out of all of the videos and movies and documentaries that I have reviewed prior to ever being here, and more importantly, that I had reviewed as part of research and investigations, investigative reporting, I have never, ever heard of anybody ever doing that before. Has it happened? I don't know. Maybe some of our researchers need to look at what's the probability of that happening prior to this. Who else has ever acted like that, and what was the result of their case? Because something's not right like that. And then, to boot, you've got this.
Gone.
He didn't take a phone.
To himself, so to speak. Between the hours of, 12 and 6. He has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked and gone.
So I don't know if after knowing about flashlights in the side yard, if I would think that my son just willingly walked out of the house. I'd be very, very concerned about an abduction, about somebody taking my son, about somebody from the school, doing pranking him. But not that he ran away. If he's never ran away ever once before, I don't know. She's saying that they had no fight, that it was a normal night. That's what she's saying. So why, if they had a normal night and her son has never run away before, why would her first inclination be that her son ran away and locked the door behind him? Why wouldn't she be just like us and say, what would ever make my son want to run away? Obviously, he was in fear for his life is the only reason why he would go out that door. What would ever make my son fear for his life to go out that door? They've never asked themselves that question. Why? Why have they never advocated for Sebastian? Why have they only come out here to talk about themselves and what they're going through and all this other bullshit? Why? Doesn't make sense, does it? Well, if it doesn't make sense, then it doesn't go with what we're looking at here. And what we're looking at here is they're trying to tell us this child walked out the door and locked the door behind him. How do you know that? What makes you believe that? Give me one example of what would make you believe that he would walk out the door. Oh, well, that's the only reason. Nobody would break in my house. But you had 2 flashlights on it. Where did those two flashlights come from, do you suppose? If nobody broke in your house and you got a child missing, what would ever inspire these 2 people to truly believe that this child walked out the door? And if he did, they have to be asking themselves what would make him walk out the door when they had such a normal night and a normal weekend. And the only thing that they would come up with in their brains is that he was in fear for his life. So what in the world was he in fear for his life between the hours of midnight and 6 a.m.? And that's if we believe that's that version of the story. The version, their narrative. Their narrative that their body language statements and behavior don't match. They're acting way too casual, way too cavalier, way too cold. Almost like relieved. Seems weird. Does anybody get that vibe? Just seems weird to me. I mean, I've seen a lot of moms. I've held a lot of moms. I've held a lot of dads. I was just with Daniela Mendiola's dad. That man is a broken man. He keeps reliving her being in that ditch for 43 minutes over and over again. That's what he told me. That's got to be the most painful place to be. And he's just struggling to get away from that 43 minutes that his daughter lied in a ditch without any help dying. I've seen a lot of grief on parents. Lots. More than I should, right? And they're broken. It's when a parent loses a child, even when they have other children and they love their other children so much, and they don't ever intend to ignore them. They do, because they're just so stuck in grief. And their siblings suffer even after they're gone because they're watching their family suffer. Even when they try to make peace with everything going on, seeing a mom and a father just never quite get over it and always has these bouts of crying spells, those go on. We've never seen that. That's what people don't understand, is that people that grieve, you could be in a supermarket. I'm going to start crying. You could be in a supermarket and get a scent, and it's enough to trigger you. It's enough to just where you have to just leave your car, turn around, and walk out. People, you guys have never seen that type of grief from Chris and Katie. It's been over a year. Okay, so maybe the first 3 months they didn't realize, this is real. Maybe they were in shock. Maybe they, just couldn't believe that this was happening. But 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, at some point, the panic and the realization of what they're dealing with has to be hitting them, but it never did. It's as if they already knew. Their behavior has been indicative of as if they already knew for so blessed long. We've all said, look how Chris is rolling this shit off his tongue. Between 12 and 6 a.m. He's rolling it, just right off his tongue. As if he knows. Because he does. Hashtag Chris Proudfoot knows. And this is just interview 1. But see, we didn't know that at the time when we heard this. We do now. We hear this interview completely different this day and age now that we know who Christopher Proudfoot truly is. We have watched his behavior for a solid year, and it is atrocious. And somebody wasn't trying to judge me. I ain't never done no shit like that, and you support him, boo-boo. Just saying. Just saying.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Now, you told me that night that, now, Chris, you were at work. You were out of town at work,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you were not even home.
Correct, ma'am.
And, Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m., and then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight. And nothing was unusual at that point. Everything seemed okay.
There's actually a piece of, so to make something very crystal clear, so that way there's...
Yeah, we want full transparency, and this is when he drops the bombshell that they have this 2.5 hour, 3 hour conversation. They missed the thud at the beginning of this interview, but make sure that they want to, just in case law enforcement brings it up in the future about this 3 hour call, they know that's how I know that that's significant. That call is significant because I noticed that they try to get ahead of I've identified Chris's behavior in his patterns. So when he knows something is going to make them look guilty, he already starts planting the seed, if you will, to explain that if it ever comes out. And he's gotten himself into several pickles by doing this and taking this strategy. He got himself into a pickle with this, and he got himself into a pickle with the CPS stuff. So he's going to make things crystal clear. He's about to tell us about the 3 hour phone call. Why would somebody be having a 3 hour phone call on a Sunday at 9 p.m. that lasts until almost midnight on a work day? This would have been a conversation they would have had on a Saturday night, not on a Sunday night. I'm just saying. So Women's Warrior says, Betty, there is a document for Tennessee SCO with lengthy direction on community involvement and how to maintain good relationship within the community. Well, they can first open their freaking mouth and act like they still are working the case of Sebastian and give some meaningful dialogue to the effing public. That would be a great way to have community involvement and have a good community relationship, a relationship within that community. I'm just saying. Don't worry, Women's Warrior. I'm not killing the messenger. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I would like that document. So if you do have a link to it, could you please send it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com? I would greatly appreciate it, and I would love to review it. Because I'd like to have a better working relationship with the Sumner County Sheriff. I sure would. Maybe, just maybe, we can be diplomatic and solve problems without the need of forcing the solving of problems, which I'm very capable of doing. Makes my teeth curl. Why interview these parents when you, the interviewer, is telling the storyline for? Like I said, Lois, I complain every time I have to listen to this and go over it. It's the biggest complaint I have, is she just doesn't shut up. It's like she's so, she would never be a good interrogator because she doesn't like dead air. Sometimes you need to let people, like she might have already got a better read on these people if she had shut her blessed mouth. I'm going to tell you, when children are harmed, the majority of the child's death are by somebody they knew, including parents, guardians, and custodial people. Most common in child death. So trust me, when I'm taking these cases and I'm talking to parents, it is in the back of my mind. I could be talking to their child's killer right here. I do not get buddy-buddy with people until I know. I never got buddy. When did you see Seth come up on my show? I never got buddy-buddy with that man. I never got buddy-buddy with that man until I cleared him in my own head. And I was already advocating for Seth prior to me ever even knowing or even having the first conversation with him. But when I know a parent is innocent, I'm going to fight for that parent. And I pray to God that you would have support from the blessed investigative body. This crap that's going on, let me put this up here. So, because I want people to hear me. More importantly, not just Sumner County, all these blessed places. We just dealt with Idaho, not including the families, the victims, the ones that lost. Daniel? Mendiola? Daniela's dad? Not one conversation with him about a plea deal. If you really, and this is what's going to happen, and I'm going to warn, because you know what? I know prosecutors hate more laws that they have to follow. But you keep doing this to the family, the rest of us people that care about those families, we will rise up in a big way. It may take a really long time, but we will rise up in a big way, and we will make sure that you can never enter into a plea deal without the blessing of a family, and that would be detrimental to your job. But when you abuse that privilege that we give you, and you tell victims' families to go F off, why you don't even take them into consideration, that is no more. Any prosecutors that continue to do that practice, we are going to start exposing little by slow. You guys will start losing your jobs because once your community starts hearing about it and starts seeing it and knowing that that could have been them, and trust me, I'm very passionate and I inspire people. I've got a gift. And I've got a way of making people feel like they're in other people's shoes. It's the gift God gave me. And that's what causes the passion for people. And trust me, I execute it well. And when I come into a community and I make them believe that that could have been them, that could have been their child, that could have been their grief, people lose their jobs. Because nobody deserves to be treated like that. You work for the people of your community. They pay you a lot of money. And that means When I was dealing with wills, trust, bankruptcies and estate, I had crazy people. They were crying. They were inconsolable, incontrollable, losing everything that they had. It was a tough job that paid shit. And it was the most boring law you could possibly be in. But you know what? You have compassion for people. And at the end of the day, it was my job to deal with those clients. And it is absolutely the job of the district DA that we pay the highest dollar to in our justice department, in our legal criminal system. The prosecutors get paid a lot of money. Being voted in gets you a pretty price tag. So we expect them to earn their keep. And that means when you put together a shitty plea deal, by God, you better sit in front of that family and let them rip you up and down one way or another. That is your job. You chose that plea deal. You chose to hurt that family again. You need to reap what you sow, and you should have to sit there and listen to it. You're going to move forward with the plea deal regardless. But damn it, you deserve to have your ass handed to you when you put together garbage. And if you can't even do that much, don't run for office. Because you're shitting on your community. You are shitting on the people that had trust in you. I love the law. I have been very, very disappointed in the law over the last several years doing this job. And I can certainly tell you I was ignorant and naive as all get out before covering true crime. I came from, I love the law. I went to school to be a paralegal. I believed in it. I always believed if you did the right thing, nobody could touch you. Nobody could do anything. And I have been ripped from that. And that's in part by Sumner County. I will never be that vulnerable again. I have now made extra concessions, and I'm no longer scared of I don't break the law. I don't break the law. They can arrest me. They can persecute me. They can prosecute me. Doesn't matter. At some point, I will have my vindication. And I have to have trust and belief in that. So I don't care anymore. And that makes me very, very unstoppable. And it gives me an opportunity to go tell a sheriff to go fuck himself. And that's exactly what I want to tell Sheriff Snuggle Struggles to do. Go fuck himself. Maybe I should just tell him. I find people just don't come and speak what's on their mind. So let me just tell him. Let me quit saying what I would say. And let me just say, Mr. Snuggle Struggles, go fuck yourself. All right. Hopefully somebody clips that. Maybe it can be on somebody else's intro. You guys need to pray for me. I intentionally did that. I know it's offensive. That's why I did it.
Transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included.
See? He's trying to make sure he plants the seed before the information gets out. This is a behavioral trait that we missed along the way. And I think we really need to be going back and catching these. I can tell you I was very, very much aggressive on our planning. But it looks like we have several days of Sebastian Rogers. We don't have to worry about it because we're just going to roll this whole entire story. I'm not even taking this down because we still have this one we're going to keep listening to at least for another half hour. It's already been 2 hours. We might roll into 3 hours. I don't know. 5 more eggs. Denise, do we have chickens in the chat or something? Justin's not around, so we can't have a chicken party. Ooh! But we can have a mullet party. We can have a mullet party. If you guys want a mullet party, okay, let me. I know. Did I already do that? Hold on, I gotta see something. I don't know what the hell I did. Did I put one in here? I did not. Good. Okay. So my mom, did I tell you? Maybe I didn't. Let me set the stage here. Let me set the stage. This is not related to Sebastian. Let me set the stage. So my mom came over here. Okay, she was over here yesterday afternoon, and she created this excuse. Oh, there's Justin for. Now we can have a chicken party. Now we can have a chicken party. So my mom comes over here, and she makes this excuse of, I did leave when I went and picked up Delilah. I did leave my vape there, and I left. I think she intentionally took her baby blanket. I think she intentionally kept it so she could. Hey, Ren, it's nice to see you. I was just thinking about you yesterday. I'm like, I need to call out Ren. I don't think I remember seeing her for a while. You were just on my mind yesterday. You were just on my mind. So, anyways, she finds an excuse. I knew when she called, she was missing Delilah. She was missing her little snuggle monkey, and so she comes over here, and she tells me her and I are talking about some funny stuff, and we're talking about the show. We're talking about different, just odds and ends, and she brings up the donkey. And I'm like, jeez, the ass. She brings up the ass. I'm like, I forgot about the ass. She's like, that was just, she's like, I just liked it. She's like, you were right there. It was just real. I can't remember what my mom said, but she said something. And I'm like, I forgot about that. Well, today, this is something I don't like about StreamYard. I come in here today. It looks better. It seems like it's crystal clear, even though it's showing instability on my back end. But it looks crystal clear from my end. So hopefully that's the case. It's just showing me an indicator that's not really the problem. And so I come in here and I start moving my, I'm trying to find videos. And usually I have my videos listed, and I usually can move them in and out of order as I please, to set what I'm going to do for the show. Well, now you can't. There's like a whole bunch of blocks here, and now you can only move whatever video you like to the top. So this is going to cause, I can already see this. I'm going to start losing videos anyways, because I got like 100 of them uploaded right now. So as I was going through here, she was just talking about it last night, and because of the video set up back behind the scenes, it put it right there. And I'm like, I can't move it, but I can put it to the top. It was all the way down at the bottom. We haven't watched it in a while. I didn't even know if I still had it, but I did. And since you guys have been so generous this evening, now it's evening. Good. Yay, it's evening. I was saying evening a couple hours ago before it was evening. Since you guys have been so stinking generous, if you guys haven't seen this, you're going to get a little chuckle. This is back in my funnier days. I know, I'm a little dry now.
Andrea, aka Bullhorn Betty here. Look what I found. It looks like a lot of people on YouTube. Right here. Right here. This is a real ass right here. Like many people on YouTube. All you need to do is show an asshole a little love. Right? Right? Tell him. What you need to do? What you need to do? Huh? What you need to do? Oh, too many assholes on YouTube. Say it. Say it with me, baby. Say there's just too many people. Too many people on YouTube that look like you, huh? So the next time you want to be an ass, maybe you should come out here and hang out with the ass. Just saying. You want to be a jackass? There's your brother. Peace out. Bullhorn Betty style.
That was actually filmed in 2022. It was Summerwell's 1-year milestone. We had an event that the Bullhorn Betty channel put together. It was a lantern release in her honor, but it was at the sheriff's office because we wanted the demonstration to be in front of them. We ended up letting off their neck quite a bit after that event. And they, of course, if we just back off, they would be able to do what they do. Well, as you see, we backed off a little bit. They took an inch, it took a mile. We gave them an inch, they took a mile. And now we're here 5 years later, and the case still isn't solved. So, or 4 years later, however long it's been. And justice needs to be had for Summer Wells. And I truly believe Don Wells and Candace Bly absolutely know what they're, again, another story. It's same story, different face, different name, different location. Same story. All we do is repeat. Don't you guys know that? Haven't you guys figured it out here on True Crime? All we do is repeat the same stories over and over again. Just different faces, different names, some details different from case to case, but pretty much the same thing. I think he killed the mullet because we started fucking with I really do. He was sporting that mullet and until the bullhorn Betty he didn't like people teasing him. He got an ish thing. He doesn't like people teasing him, y'all. He don't. He got an ish thing. So when people tease him, he's got to fix it. He can't be teased now. That tells me he's got some childhood trauma. Like I say, I look at every single blessed behavior a person has, and I have to try to figure it out. Why do they act that way? It comes back to what Jason Jensen always told me. Always ask the why. Always ask the why.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV. Oh shit! First cops, now this. Oh.
The mullet was no more. I don't know. All I know is the next time we saw him, mullet was bye-bye. Bye-bye, mullet. He's not a cooch anymore. He's just a douchebag.
We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch.
Because, I mean, again, we will always come back to this. And I didn't pull up Nancy Grace either. We still have Nancy Grace to go over where she's saying she's studying for, like, none of this fits in this area. So because it doesn't fit, it's too messy. It's like they couldn't figure out which story they wanted to commit to. And they told several different stories, so they ended up having to merge them all together into one story. And that's how we've got, she was studying for school, falling asleep on the couch, blowing bubbles out of her butt, and trying to talk to Christopher Proudfoot in the middle of the snores. None of it makes sense. And when you listen to it and listen to how ridiculous, just put it on paper. Just put it on paper and process and just envision. Just take time and close your eyes and listen to what they're describing. How is it possible? Because what I think we're going to find out is one of two things were happening. They were running all over the place. You know, they were able to have the steps. You know how in the Alec Murdaugh case, maybe you don't, some people may not have been with me during Alec Murdaugh, but if you were with me during Alec Murdaugh, what you will know is that after his wife and his son were shot, what they determined the time of death, they see him, his devices walking from the dog kennels to the house. So they have all of his steps and how many steps he's taking during different intervals. But somehow, after the time when law enforcement determined that both Paul and Maggie were deceased, they see him just, it looks like he's in his home just pacing back and forth, making all these calls. So they're showing this on here that this call's being made. This many steps is between this call while he's on the phone. They know he's on the phone with his brother for this long, and he did this many steps during the conversation with his brother. So they had it down to the steps. And it makes me wonder, could we keep hearing that Katie's smartwatch or her Apple Watch is missing or got lost somewhere or something like that? That's what I heard. It's a rumor, so I can't tell you whether it's true or not. I don't know if she gave it over to law enforcement. They actually have it, or if she truly, in fact, lost it. And we saw it on her earlier that day. It just seems awfully suspect to me. Sorry, it does. That she would have something that could track her ever movements and steps that would have disappeared the same night her son disappeared. That's pretty suspicious, if you ask me. Along with lights on the side of the house going to an unknown car that appeared to attempt to try to shield itself from cameras intentionally, but ended up getting picked up on the camera anyways, because of the range of view was much larger than they had anticipated. So because of that, now we have flashlights going to a vehicle. You can see the headlights turn on that vehicle. You can see the light because of Justin for All, the work him and his team did. You can see a motion sensor light come on the house directly across the street from where the movement was going on at the car. That's not something that would be indicative of a trash truck moving through. Otherwise, you would see the trash truck moving through and blocking the lights that are peeking through all those bushes, including the garage lights. Because the truck is big, it would have obstructed the camera, just like the leaves, made that appearance of the ruckus video. And it's just the trees. It's the lights. It's the camera pointing through the trees to the lights on the other side of the trees inside of the garage that are on. And the trees in front of that light are just moving ever so slightly, but it's giving this appearance of people struggling with something. But if you watch it long enough, you'll see it's the same struggle over and over again, and the people never move out of the light. And it literally goes on for like a half an hour to 45 minutes. And I'm like, nobody's standing in front of a light with, struggling for 45 minutes. It just doesn't make sense. And that's when I realized it must have been trees. And there was a light source. So when I was out there, I had a theory that it was most likely coming from inside the garage, the trees, and then the camera. And I was able to corroborate that when I went out to that location for my nighttime view.
I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight.
So he just said they had almost a 3-hour conversation where Katie was falling asleep. Then we learned on Nancy Grace she was also studying. So she was allegedly having a conversation with Chris on the phone, studying, and while she was studying and having a phone call with Chris, managed to fall asleep. Let me ask you this. Is it possible that time of night. I mean, we're not talking like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about before midnight. Is it possible that your body would literally shut off while you're studying and on the phone? I mean, you got to look at that aspect of it too. It seems like when you're talking and reading, it's hard for your brain to shut down to go to sleep unless she has narcolepsy. And I've never heard that she had narcolepsy before. So how is this, just that aspect of it alone, how is that possible? It doesn't make sense. Why? If it doesn't make sense, there's a reason it doesn't make sense and it doesn't fit. Because something about it is not true. That's the only common sense that tells me. If it doesn't make sense, then something about it is untrue. What is it? I don't know. It could be this or it could be that. Gotta love coming into Harry Bungo's Shave Ya Booty Hole, Chris. Hello to everyone. Well, hi, Miss Robin, coming in with a bang. Coming in with a bang.
Before midnight or right around midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So then mom does go to bed and wakes up early in the morning to go wake her son up, get him ready for school. And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house.
Wow. 7 days into this, child hasn't been found and hasn't come home, and they are just as cute, cool as a cucumber. And Chris knows every detail, and he is he is acting like he's the detective on this. He's using the detective words. He's being very, very matter of fact. It doesn't seem like he's been very cooperative from the beginning. So where are the search warrants? Where's the deep dive into the parents, the last known people to be around Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? Why has there been no data that identifies any type of search areas? What if they have received those reports, but they don't have funding to go search for them? Because that's what it sounds like. And it sounds like when Sheriff Snuggle Struggles had an opportunity to go advocate for more resources to search for Sebastian, he thought of himself only. And, of course, his top brass, because they're more important. I'm sure that was good for morale, for him to go and fight for himself and his elite partners in the sheriff's office, but not for the people that are out there risking their lives. like Sheriff Snuggle Struggles, when we can't think you could be a douchebag enough. What a douchebag! What a douchebag! Can you imagine the morale of a police department or a sheriff's department where the sheriff actually stood up and said, "Look, why don't you I'm making enough money. Why don't you not worry about me or our top staff? We make hundreds of thousands of dollars, but we need the guys that go out and risk their life. This is not good for morale, Board of County Commissioners. We really should be giving our guys a raise. They bust their ass around here." Man, that would, even if they didn't get the raise, can you imagine what that would have done for the morale of that sheriff's department? It would have boosted it to an all-time high. Those sheriffs would believe that their boss has their back. But you know what? He didn't do that. You know what he did? He thought of himself. He didn't think of the people under him, and he didn't think of the victims of his community that still need resources and help, just like Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. But Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is the priority. He is the underage child missing from that community. And Sheriff Snuggle Struggles doesn't give a crap about the missing child. He just wants the raise. And I keep looking to see what he's actually done to justify the raise, and I can't find one positive thing to say about him. I don't like Sheriff Snuggle Struggles. I've never talked to the man. I don't like him because his own community went to approach him, and his first words out of his mouth are, "Do you reside in this county?" Well, I can tell you, if I was before that, he would have wanted to arrest me. I would have told him about himself so quickly, it would have made his head spin. I would have been up his ass with the Constitution, federal funding. I would have just told him everything and seen if he would like to change his attitude, but clearly he doesn't care. He doesn't even care for his own community members. Hell, he doesn't even care for a medically needy 15-year-old boy that was most likely injured and hurt by his mommy and stepdaddy, his buddies, his Navy buddies. His Navy buddies. We want this case out of Sumner County. Every time I go there, I have to take the case up over them because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to read the law. Hell, even the judges don't even know what the fuck they're doing. The judges can't even read the blessed law, and they've got Westlaw that makes it for dummies. I know. I used to use Westlaw. Now I've upgraded to Google Scholars. You know why I've upgraded to Google Scholars? Because you have to actually know what the heck you're reading to understand it. And the judge, John Blanton, he has something that gives him a little green button, a little red button to tell him whether it's good law or bad law. Like, it's dummy-fied. And Judge Ron Blanton doesn't even know how to look at the law. They're idiots there. Either willful or just incompetent. But that's still a horrible reputation to have, no? The whole damn system? I'm sorry, Seth. I'm sorry, brother. My friend, you're getting a raw deal. You're getting a raw deal. I have never had this kind of relationship with any sheriff's department, I can tell you that. Even the contentious relationship in Chatham County was not this bad. Even their chief of police knew not to step on my toes. The only thing they got was Dolly and about 5 minutes of my mouth. They released him without bail. On his own recognizance. Yeah, just get the crazy blonde lady with the bullhorn off the property. You're free to go, sir. And it was done live. So we've got receipts. We got receipts. I remember that sheriff's like, we don't want this shit on our front door. He that chief of police, we're letting this dude go. We don't want this shit. We're not cleaning up your shit, Chief Haddock, whatever his name was. Grave Crime with Grace gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Grave Crime with Grace. Thank you, my love. And for those 5 beautiful people, our new family members, welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. Hey, Unicorn, it's nice to see you. It's nice to, Riv, it's good to see you too, my love. I hope you're doing well. Big hugs and kisses to you. I saw a few pictures. I'm so happy to see you. The last pictures, well, it's been a few days, but you were smiling. I love seeing you smile. I love seeing you smile.
Mom made an effort to look and search several times.
So calculated, so robotic.
Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him. I was like, do what? She goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do. And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
Wow, just so matter of fact. So matter of fact, just like that. Concerned? Did anybody hear concerned in Chris's voice? I mean, outside of that little that Katie did, I don't think we heard anything. She's just trying to talk really low, so it sounds like she's. But she couldn't play like that in front of the cameras. She started laughing in front of the cameras the next day. You guys want to see? You guys want to see how she laughs? How she feels about her son? When asked a simple flippant question? You guys want to see? The green shirt interview. Let's see if oh yeah, I'm so heartbroken over. Well, the mother, she's a worried mother that has a missing son. And then we come over here.
You for allowing me to come into your home to the situation. You coping?
Oh! So just 24 hours, not even 24 hours before this, we get this. Got it right. Oh, you didn't even hear that. I wasn't even on that tab. Let me go back. Let's listen. So that was her first question. This was her first question on Duchess.
And you did tell me that Sebastian is not a runner.
Listen.
He's not.
Oh, he's not. Okay. All right. Well, let's. What's this about? I mean, you seem pretty choked up. Not even 24 hours before this. What did the situation become funny? All this.
The situation right now. How are you coping?
Well, I'd say she's coping by laughing. Because she just asked her how she coping. What do you mean coping? We ain't coping over here. We're partying, babe. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean for that laugh to come out. Sorry. Let me look over to my husband. Let him clean this up. Let's see how cleaned up Chris gets. Let's just check it out. Oh, let's see.
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of.
Oh wow, he managed to get that. Oh, he managed to get that straight. We're on a constant roller coaster ride. I mean, he does. Let's watch this. She starts laughing. She needs him to clean it up, and he kind of looks at her for a second, and then turns around, and gets real serious. Well, we're kind of on a roller coaster ride between, hopeless and helpless. Oh, God, I don't know what I'm going to do over here. I think Rome was busted. That's what my problem is. That's what my wife's problem is. She thinks she got away with it. That's why she's laughing. She's saying, fuck y'all. Look at me. How do I cope? I cope by laughing. That's how I'm coping with this. I'm happy to be free. Free to be me. So that's what she's saying. I'm free to be me. Sorry for the cussing. Tomorrow will be a different story. I won't cuss as much. I actually plan to cuss. I plan to cuss more. I get lockered. It's nice to see you.
Describe the situation right now. How are you coping?
Okay, she's losing her stuff. This is too funny for me. Okay, let's look over the husband. Oh, look at his face. No. Oh, let me. It's right.
We're on a constant roller coaster ride of helpless and hopeless.
Oh wow, got that fixed up right there. We need to come in there. He needed to save me. Oh, let me get that distraught look on my face. Distraught look. Come on, distraught look. Golly, come on, Katie. Distraught look. Oh, okay, I got the distraught look now. Bring on the tears. Let's bring on the tears. Katie, can you cry? Can you cry, Katie? Can you cry, Katie? Let's bring on the tears. Katie, cry. Cry. Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue, Katie. Cry, damn it. She ain't crying. Seems like they're just kind of, seems like they're just kind of okay with everything. If you ask me. Let's look.
and many other emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It won't stop until he walks through the door.
Now remember, in the script, just remember, when things get tight, start rocking back and forth. Start looking like a crazy lady. Start, get yourself in that straitjacket position. Just start rocking. Doesn't really matter where you're rocking to. Just start rocking, okay? So if you just get tied up, just start rocking. Just start rocking. It'll sell it. It'll sell it, Katie. I'm telling you, it'll sell it if you just start rocking.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
Yeah, because you can't keep a straight face. Even that looks like a smirky little, what.
Not anymore.
Come on, bring on the tears, lady. Just one blessed teardrop. Can we get one teardrop, lady? Just one. We're just looking for one. Let's see if we can get one. Do we get one tear? Let's go for tears. We're starting to count the tears. Let's rockin'. We got rockin'.
I know we're about keeping hope.
Oh man, she even the news lady, she's ready to cry. But we got Katie over here looking like Dum Bird, rocking back and forth. can't even shed one single tear for her son. That's a little disturbing, if you ask me.
Alive. I'm sure that's in there somewhere.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Let's listen to the interviewee coach them on maybe how they might want to present themselves, because they're doing such a crappy job at it. Let's see if she can give them a nudge, the nudge they need. Okay, maybe we don't know yet. Let's see if they get the nudge they need.
Not anymore.
I know we're about keeping hope alive.
She almost seemed like we got to analyze this. I'm seeing stuff I wasn't seeing before. Like, I feel like she's got this this smirk on her face. I don't know if I saw, she didn't have any expression on her face, but I don't know if I've noticed the smirk. Did you guys notice the smirk? Let's see, watch her face.
I wouldn't
Look at that. Watch her lips, watch her eyes.
wish this on anyone.
Let's go back. I might be overthinking this. Look at her eyes.
It
It's her
won't stop
eyes.
until
Her
he walks
eyes
through the
look
door.
happy. That's the problem. Look at her eyes.
I wouldn't wish this
Right-
on anyone.
Right there. They didn't look sad. They didn't look sad to me. Now, I know we're splitting hairs. Right? Really? Does that look happy eyes? Does that look like sad eyes? I'm sorry, but we have happy eyes and we have sad eyes. Right? When you're talking to a child, even if they're not really having expression, you can kind of look at their eyes and tell if they're a happy kid or there's something, a little going on there. He actually said that. He there's something in one of the reports. Again, heard through the grapevine. It's rumored at this point, but I can't remember if I heard it. I can't remember if it was sourced back to Seth or if it was just something somebody made up. But I personally heard that it was in there that he thought his mom hated him. And I've said that several times. I can't remember where that came from, though. For whatever reason, I think it was on an interview that Seth did, and I think Tony, he didn't want Seth, or he kind of spoke up for Seth because Seth was being too nice or something about a certain topic, and I think he was the one that said it. If I'm trying to go back into where whose voice I heard it come from, or if I saw it in text or print. Usually, if it's usually somebody that told me somebody vocally said it to me, if I can, imagine who told me or the sound of the voice, I can usually determine. But I think I heard it on, maybe it was The Lab. I know it wasn't an interview on my show, but I remember seeing them, and it wasn't some mainstream media. It was definitely online somewhere, but I don't remember. Either way, it doesn't matter. I do believe that it most likely was in there. But actually, you know what? If you guys do find that clip, send it to me, because I don't think I have that clip. But it came from somewhere, and I like to source things. I don't know. I've got literally 2,500 items in Sebastian's folder. And I was actually going to think that's another thing we need to do. We need to do a timeline and put everything in there. Even the movements, the what was being stated by his sister, as well as Dara, about what happened that morning. We need to be plugging that crap on a timeline and seeing where everything is, because theoretically our window still, no matter what we're looking at, it theoretically is midnight to 6 a.m. So we need to find out what happened in there. And I believe he actually was removed from the house between 3 and 4 a.m. So we're kind of, whittling that timeline down to get us a very specific spot. But I think that was the side effect, him being removed 3 to 4 from something that happened earlier. So I think there are 2 windows of time that we need to focus on, but we need to figure out what those are. And we need to start focusing our concern just on filling in the blanks in that area. Because I think if we can fill in some of the blanks in that area, and it's going to take public outreach, because somebody saw something. Somebody saw Chris's truck moving. Somebody's heard a conversation Chris, Katie, the Bowersox, or somebody in their family has had. Somebody has heard rumors. Quit, it's gotten to the point where I don't know what's been called into Sumner County. And I'm thinking that we need to open up I guess Nick the Hat, they've already got something rolling in with tips, but I think whoever called in tips, I think we need to start campaigning on anybody that called in a tips to FBI, TBI, or Sumner County needs to start taking the same tip that they called into there and start calling that into Dog's tip line. Because I believe that Sumner County has dropped the ball in a major way in this case, and we need to find out and piece together this timeline, because I believe there have been people that have called in that said that they saw Chris at this place at this time. Those things can be plugged into the timeline, so we can see where the hell these people were at what time. Do you guys know that is how I know in the Caitlin Lane? I have to say Caitlin Harp because that's her lawful legal name, but her family wants her referred to as Caitlin Lane. Her maiden name, and I understand why, but I have to refer to her as both. So I'm just going to start saying that. So I'm very respectful to the family, but unfortunately, her lawful legal name is Harp, and it's causing algorithm problems to use Lane when her lawful legal name is Harp. So I'm struggling with that, but we want to respect the family. When we're talking about her, commentating about her, we're going to refer to her as Caitlin Lane. But on my descriptions and stuff, it's most likely going to be Caitlin Harp. I might have hashtag Caitlin Harp and hashtag Caitlin Lane, just out of respect for the family. But long story short is, or long story longer, however you want to look at it, I found a critical error in the probable cause affidavit that they had to arrest Vinny. And it's a Scrivener's error. I know it's a Scrivener's error, but it could cause complications because it's critical timeline issues. So according to the timeline, at around 6:40, Vinny was seen in his Silverado with the box, passing the VFW. And he was going from the VFW and going over to the Sunoco. And they list him arriving at the Sunoco at 5:41, 1 minute later. For that to be a possibility, the Sunoco would have to be literally like right next door, or, within like 1,000 feet. So I had, when I went and plugged in the address on 100 Montour Street, or whatever it is, Montour Road, I think it's Montour Street, it showed that drive was 15 minutes away. So they're either he didn't pass the VFW at 5:40, or he wasn't at the Sunoco at 5:41 asking the clerk for gloves. It was one or the other. I think that it must have been, maybe, I don't know what they were looking at for time, or if it might have been that somebody's clock, we've had that where the clocks are off. So it might be accurately recorded on the document, on the probable cause affidavit, but it might be possible that one or the other camera time was off. That could explain it as well. But there is a critical error in the probable cause affidavit that they are going to have to address at some point, because again, he can't be passing the VFW at 5:41 and be 15 minutes away in one single minute. I don't even know how fast he would have to go to make that a reality, but I have to think that it would be so excessive, none of our vehicles would be able to get to that speed. Just me personally, but I don't know. I didn't calculate it. So there is that. And so I think of similar situations like this, you know, and let me go back just a little bit.
It doesn't stop. It won't stop until he walks through the door.
The situation right now.
And many other
Oh, we're still there.
emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It won't stop until he walks through the door.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
See, she just, look at that. I paused it at the right spot. Look, guys, if you have a cell phone, blow her face up right now. If you have a cell phone or you're on a TV or a computer, blow her face up if you can enlarge it. Look at the expression on her face. Her eyes appear to be happy. She has this smug look on her face. She looks like she's almost smirking here. Duper's delight is coming to my mind. Are you going to be at Ryan Grover's trial? Just hearing the interviews from the rest of the victim's family. Well, he's not going to be in trial. They are going to be sentencing him. And no, I'm not going to be there for sentencing. As far as that's why I went ahead and just made my final statements, as unpopular as they probably are. And I know people probably are offended by them, and that's okay. They'll get over it. But I just had a lot to say about it. I wanted to say it and be done with it and just move on. And I really do pray for the victims' families. And I pray for the victims. But it's very hard for me to see the families struggling like they are when they wanted justice for their children, their daughters. They wanted justice for their daughters, and they don't get to get it, because I'm sorry, Brian Kohberger, he's going to be fantasizing about what he did to those people in that house the rest of his life. He's not going to be haunted by their images. He's not going to be haunted by what he did. And I need people to start realizing that, because everybody in their mind is like, oh, you know what? He gets the rest of his life to think about what he did. It's not like that. It's just not. And I'm so sick of people having these fantasies about what they think it is. This man gets to relish in what he did for the rest of his life. When he thinks about what he did, he's going to get a rush. When he has dreams about it, he's going to wake up with a smile on his face. It's like a high all over again. I would never, that's not justice for me. That's just not justice for me. They got a raw deal. Shame on the university. Shame on the DA's office. But again, I stand behind, I really think law enforcement needs to be applauded. I know Chris McDonough was a little, hard on them. I respect Chris McDonough's opinions and perspectives, but I think they did an amazing job. I really do.
Not anymore.
I know we're about keeping hope alive. I'm sure that's in there somewhere.
Coaching them. Keeping hope alive. I'm sure that is in there somewhere. Keeping hope alive. They're too busy trying to put on the show, and they ain't even doing the dance. Trying to put on the show without even doing the dance. So guys, we have been on here for almost 3 hours. It feels good to be talking about Sebastian's case again. but it also feels like we shouldn't be here. This case should be solved and people should be in jail, not living their best life. And it's so sad that we're here. It's so sad that my predictions about this county being broke and not having the resources to do their job appear to be accurate. Again, we have a high batting average on this channel. Many people have said horrible things about me because they know that just like Jennifer Coffindaffer, why is it always the bonehead felons that don't like people with educations that have free thought and experiences that they don't have? Why do they always have to be so disrespectful to those people? You know why? Because they make the person that's being disrespectful feel small. And why does that first person feel small? Because they have self-esteem issues. So they're taking their self-esteem issues out on people like Jennifer Coffindaffer. I've seen some comments. The deception detective gets his fair share of bullshit too. It just needs to stop. We work very, very hard to get as much information out there, accurate information out there. Do we speculate? Yes. But we've been very clear on what our speculation is, what our theories are, and what the true hard, cold facts are. Because those hard, cold facts are what we're building those theories and speculations on to see what makes sense. If we can figure out what makes sense, we might be able to determine where Sebastian is. By talking about this consistently online, it's drawing people in that may never have heard about this case. So we're going to keep building on this. I wish we would have time to get through a lot more, but I forget how mouthy I am when it comes. Betty, they are a joke. Yeah, hi, Brianna's World. It's nice to see you, my love. So I forget how mouthy I am, and I guess I was a little too aggressive because we haven't even gotten through 1/3 of everything I've got up here. And we've been talking for 3 hours. That means this would have been a 9-hour show. Oh my gosh. We might have to do 2 sessions tomorrow. We might have to do a morning session and an afternoon session, and then I'll have to catch everybody up. But this is good. We need to go back to the beginning. I'm seeing stuff, maybe stepping away is what we needed. Maybe we need to get some, just rest our eyes a little bit. Maybe coming back to this might give us almost like a fresh pair of eyes going back on the case a little bit. We've had some different experiences. We've had some different cases that BHB was cussing for 3 hours. But I missed a few of my F-bombs. I took them out. I had a few, but GDs, like I said, I don't really do GDs too much, but I don't know. The other stuff just kind of rolls off the tongue. I've been working on the darns. Did you notice I caught myself before I even said it. I'm like, darn it. I'm work in progress. Like I said, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to be a work in progress. I might just take a teeny tiny little centimeter step forward one day. I might take an inch step one day. And I've been heard I take a mile every now and again. So we're growing. I'm just saying. So I'm going to keep this up. We're going to be back with this tomorrow, guys. We're going to continue to go down this. If you guys are ready to be refreshed, get back to advocating, and let's get all of this back out here. We got to start creating timelines. We need to start looking at stuff. We've been talking about getting out in the woods and doing searches for quite some time, and I'm ready to put my boots on. I'm ready to go. You know what? I'm ready to push the limits and actually get my handcuffs like the right way. Like I want to break the law. No, I'm just joking. Sumner County. It's called hyperbole. Learn it, okay? I'm just saying. It's called hyperbole. I don't deserve to be arrested for hyperbole. Just saying. I'm going to Sumner County to get arrested. It's called hyperbole. Good gracious. All right. I'm not going there to find some. I'm not trying to break out in the same rash I broke out in once before. I'm just saying. All right, guys, you rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, kind to one another. And don't forget to come back here. We will be talking about the Sebastian Wayne Rogers all week. We've got a lot of work to do on the case. And more importantly, we have got to get working on setting up our committee time. Yay! Yay! And I just need a lot of go-getters. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Possibly, unless there's some breaking news. I haven't even looked at the news today. Who knows? I might be back in 15 minutes. Well, if I'm back in 15 minutes, we'll be on the Crime Stories channel. If you guys haven't hit up Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories, you guys want that channel. You guys want to sub up to that channel, because when I'm running my mouth over here too much, I have to go over there and start running my mouth over there. So you guys want to sub up to that channel. It's free to sub up. Come show Betty's 2.0 Crime Stories channel some love. And don't forget to hit a thumbs up button every once in a while. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m., rain or shine. Can't even speak. Rain or shine right here on this channel. God bless.